Have you ever looked back at a moment, a month, a year, and realized you were pouring time, energy, and emotion into someone who barely gave a damn? You told yourself it was love, that if you tried harder, waited longer, proved yourself better, she'd see your worth. But deep down you knew you were chasing shadows, trading your purpose for her silence. And the worst part, you thought that was normal. It's not. Time is the one thing you'll never get back. Every message you reread, every late night waiting for a call that never came, it wasn't romantic. It was robbery. You were robbed of your attention, your clarity, your self-respect. The Stoics warned us about this centuries ago. You could leave life right now, Marcus Aurelius wrote. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. So ask yourself, if this was your last day, would you be proud of the man you've become? Or would you realize you've wasted it, chasing someone who never truly chose you? This video is not about blaming women. It's about freeing men, freeing you from the illusions that cost you your peace, your power, and your path. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 brutal truths every man must face if he wants to stop wasting time and start building the life he was meant for. These are not feel-good platitudes. They are hard, uncomfortable lessons, forged in the fires of experience and sharpened by Stoic clarity. But if you have the courage to face them, you'll never chase the wrong woman again. So if you're done playing games, done waiting for someone to validate you and ready to reclaim your time, your purpose, and your dignity, watch this video until the end, because once the truth clicks, you won't go back to who you were. You'll become something rarer, a man who walks away from what weakens him and toward what makes him unbreakable. Truth number 1. If she's not choosing you, stop choosing her. You were not born to beg. There is a quiet tragedy unfolding in the lives of too many men. They wait, they chase, they overthink every word, every silence, every breadcrumb of attention, all for a woman who does not see their worth. They shrink themselves in hopes of being seen. They offer their time, their loyalty, their soul to someone who would never cross the street for them. This is not love. This is emotional starvation. This is self-abandonment dressed as romance. And a Stoic man does not abandon himself. You see, Stoicism teaches us to return to first principles, to ask not what we feel, but what is true. And the truth is this: a woman who truly values you will not make you question your place in her life. She will not speak in riddles. She will not weaponize silence. She will not ask for everything while giving nothing in return. A Stoic doesn't chase validation. He doesn't wait for the rain to fall from a sky that never opens. He does not interpret confusion as mystery or cruelty as challenge. He sees things as they are and walks away with his dignity intact. Marcus Aurelius said, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do." And this is the essence of it. Stop choosing those who do not choose you. Because every moment you invest in someone who is not invested in you, you are robbing yourself of something far more valuable: your presence, your purpose, your becoming. Let me say this clearly. You are not an afterthought. You are not an emotional support line. You are not a placeholder until something better comes along. If she is stringing you along with half-hearted effort and indecisive words, that is the decision. That is the answer. You don't need a breakup speech. You don't need closure. You need self-respect. The Stoics believed that virtue was the highest good. And what is more virtuous than walking away from that which insults your spirit? What is more noble than refusing to chase what was never meant to be yours? This isn't about hating her. This isn't about being bitter. It's about rising. A high-value man doesn't beg to be chosen. He chooses himself. He doesn't need someone else to tell him he matters. His life speaks for him, his discipline, his presence, his purpose. They say everything. So here's the rule. If you're not her choice, she is no longer yours. Love is not something you convince someone to feel. Affection is not something you earn by being more agreeable, more available, more accommodating. Real connection is mutual, natural, unmistakable. And if it isn't there, let it go. not with resentment, not with drama, but with the quiet strength of a man who refuses to beg for what should be given freely. Your time is a non-refundable currency. Spend it like your life depends on it, because it does. And when you walk away from the wrong woman, you don't lose love, you gain clarity. And clarity is the foundation of everything. Truth number 2. Attention is not affection. A glance is not a promise. A like is not love. You see the notification, her name lights up your screen. Your heart skips. Maybe it means something. Maybe she was thinking of you. Maybe this is the moment it all turns around. But it's just a like, a reply, an emoji, a spark that dies before it becomes a flame. And deep down, you know, it's not real, it's not solid, it's not enough. But part of you, the hopeful part, the wounded part, still clings to it like driftwood in a storm. We live in an age where attention is currency, but it is not commitment. It is not care. It is not love. Attention can be mindless, conditional, strategic. It can be a reflex, a habit, a breadcrumb. Affection, however, real affection, is intentional. It shows up. It's consistent. It's felt in silence, proven in sacrifice, and anchored in respect. The Stoics warned us, don't be distracted by the noise of the world. Focus on what is essential. And this is essential. Confusing attention for affection will keep you trapped in cycles of confusion. A woman who truly values you doesn't just appear when she's bored. She doesn't give you just enough to keep you guessing. She doesn't speak in half-truths and show up when it's convenient. That's not affection. It's power play. A performance to keep you orbiting, to make sure you're still available, just in case. You deserve more than breadcrumbs, you deserve clarity. But you won't find it in sporadic messages, delayed replies, or sweet nothings that go nowhere. You won't find it in digital crumbs dropped just often enough to keep you hooked. You won't find it in a woman whose actions speak a different language than her words. You'll find it in consistency, in presence, in reciprocity. The man who knows his worth doesn't wait around hoping mixed signals will suddenly become love letters. He doesn't make excuses for why her actions don't match her words. He doesn't lower his standards to feel temporarily seen. He walks, not in anger, not in arrogance, but in quiet certainty that he is not here to decode someone else's confusion. Because a Stoic man values his time, his peace, his clarity, and clarity demands one simple truth. If she wanted to, she would. If she does not, believe her. So the next time she likes your photo but doesn't call you back, the next time she replies, maybe, for the 5th time in a row, the next time her words sound sweet but her actions disappear, remember this. You're not a side quest. You're not a backup plan. You're not a placeholder for something better. You are the prize. And a man who values himself doesn't cling to potential. He walks in truth. He does not chase ghosts. He does not dance for crumbs. He leaves the table when love is no longer served. Truth number 3. Lust makes you weak. Uncontrolled desire doesn't make you alive. It makes you a slave. How many men have fallen, not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked control? Not because they were unworthy, but because they were unguarded. Think of all the greatness lost, empires crumbled, careers destroyed, reputations burned to ash, not by the hands of enemies, but by the seductive whisper of lust. And here's the brutal truth. Lust, when left unchecked, is not pleasure. It's poison. It doesn't make you more powerful. It drains you. It scatters your focus. It keeps you reaching for things that will never satisfy, chasing shadows instead of walking toward your purpose. A Stoic man knows this. You cannot build a kingdom while being ruled by your cravings. You cannot rise while bowing to momentary temptation. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And lust, more than almost any force, tests that mastery. It begins subtly, a glance, a fantasy, a late-night message, a profile picture that stays in your mind. You tell yourself it's harmless, but slowly, it grows roots. It feeds on your attention, it rewires your priorities. It convinces you that gratification equals happiness, when in truth, it only deepens the hunger. And that's the trap. Lust promises intensity, but delivers emptiness. It seduces you into sacrificing the permanent for the temporary. Your time, your values, your identity. Why? Because lust thrives in distraction. It needs you to forget who you are. It needs you to trade discipline for dopamine. But a man who walks the Stoic path, he remembers. He remembers that every desire must pass through the gate of reason. He remembers that not every hunger deserves to be fed. And he knows that just because something feels good doesn't mean it's good for the man he is becoming. Lust makes you reactive. It turns warriors into puppets. It strips you of presence. It fills your days with regrets and your nights with restlessness. But control makes you dangerous. A man who controls his lust controls his time, his energy, his decisions. He walks through temptation with clear eyes and steady breath. He does not flinch. He does not chase. He chooses power over pleasure. He chooses discipline over indulgence. And that choice, made over and over again, builds something rare in this world: respect for yourself. You don't owe lust anything, not your attention, not your loyalty, not your life. So the next time you feel yourself being pulled by that urge, that hunger, that voice saying just this once, pause. Ask yourself, is this making me stronger, or is it making me hollow? Because the path of greatness is never paved by indulgence. It's built by restraint, by clarity, by remembering that not every fire should be fed. Control your lust, or it will control you. Master your cravings, or be mastered by them. But don't ever forget, a Stoic man does not destroy his future for the sake of 5 reckless minutes. He holds the line, and he walks forward, free. Truth number 4. She can leave at any time. Build a life that doesn't collapse without her. To depend on anyone for your identity is to hand them the keys to your ruin. She once held your hand like you were her entire world. She told you she'd never leave. That forever was a promise, that you were her safe place, and you believed her, and because you wanted to. So you built around her. You wrapped your purpose around her name. You let her become your source of joy, and unknowingly your source of stability. But here's the reality most men don't see until it's too late. She can walk away, and when she does, you'll realize whether your world was built on solid ground or quicksand. The Stoics never told you to harden your heart. They told you to fortify your soul, to love with depth, yes, but never with dependency, to connect, but never lose the core of who you are in the process. Because a man who makes her the center of everything is building a life one accident away from collapse. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, faced betrayal, war, plague, yet he wrote this: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." She is an outside event. So is her loyalty, her affection, her presence. None of these are yours to control. You can't lock someone in place. You can't demand they stay. And if your foundation depends on someone else staying, you were never stable to begin with. Too many men build their lives like fragile towers, every brick labeled with her smile, her approval, her attention. And the moment she pulls away, everything falls. But a Stoic man, he doesn't build his identity around another person. He builds it from within. His purpose is not to be someone's everything. It is to be something unshakable. He creates a life so full, so rich in meaning, that no absence can hollow him out. He welcomes love, but does not require it to breathe. Ask yourself this: if she left tomorrow, would you still stand? Would your life still carry weight, still have direction, still reflect your values? Or would you crumble, lost in the void where she used to be? This isn't about rejecting love. It's about loving with your eyes open, not with your soul tied in knots. It's about remembering that your worth is not defined by who stays, but by who you are when everyone else is gone. The Stoic man prepares for departure, not in fear, but in discipline. He understands impermanence. He doesn't cling. He lives in such a way that if love leaves, dignity remains. So build your empire, not around her, but with her if she chooses to stay. And if she walks away, bless her path, and keep walking yours. Because the man who rises alone, rises for real. Truth number 5. Your time is your power. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. You wait by the phone. One text, one call, one sign she still cares. You replay conversations in your mind, decoding silences, wondering if the delay means distance, or if she just forgot. You spend hours wondering what you did wrong, what more you could give, what part of yourself you should cut away to be more likable, more desirable, more enough. But here's the truth that hurts first and unfrees you later. Every minute you spend hoping for someone else's attention is a minute stolen from your purpose, stolen from your growth, stolen from your potential, stolen from the man you were born to become. The Stoics had a name for this ultimate reminder: memento mori. Remember that you will die, not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Because once you realize that your time on this earth is limited, not abstractly but tangibly, viscerally, you start treating every moment like it matters, because it does. Imagine this. You're on your deathbed. You look back on your life. Will you be proud of the man who spent days chasing mixed signals? Will you honor the version of you that bent over backwards for someone who gave you breadcrumbs while feasting elsewhere? Or will you regret it? Not just the wasted time, but the wasted life. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." A man's most sacred resource is not money, not fame, not even love. It is time. Because once it's gone, it never comes back. Every minute you give to confusion, to overthinking, to waiting, is a minute you didn't spend building, didn't spend learning, didn't spend becoming unshakable. You don't owe anyone your time, especially not someone who treats it like it's disposable. You don't beg for presents, you don't plead for attention, because the man who values himself guards his time like a lion, guards his territory, fiercely, without apology. You think you'll have time later, but later is an illusion. The only moment you own is now, so why hand it over to someone who won't even respect it? Ask yourself, what could you build if you stopped waiting? What kind of life would unfold if you poured every ounce of attention back into your own mission? Because the truth is, you weren't born to orbit someone else's world. You were meant to create your own. Let her watch, or not. Let her stay, or not. You keep moving, not to spite her, but to honor yourself. When you stop wasting time on those who overlook you, you create space for those who see you clearly. But more importantly, you reclaim the power that was always yours. You stop being a beggar of attention, and you become a guardian of your destiny. So the next time you find yourself checking your phone for the 100th time, whisper this to yourself: memento mori, and then get back to building, because you've got a kingdom to raise, and the clock does not wait. Most men will waste years chasing what doesn't serve them, fighting for love that disrespects them, begging for attention that was never real. They'll wake up at 40, 50, maybe never, and realize they traded their strength for comfort. They traded their fire for fleeting warmth. They gave their time unto illusions. But you're different, because you've heard the truth. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Every moment you spend trying to prove your worth to someone who doesn't see it is a moment you could have spent building that worth within. Every hour lost in confusion, in doubt, in trying to win someone over, is an hour stolen from your becoming. And the world doesn't need more men begging for validation. It needs men who are clear, men who are grounded, men who choose their path and walk it alone if necessary. This is the Stoic truth. The world does not owe you love, respect, or attention. But you owe it to yourself to never lower your standards to keep someone who makes you feel small. So here's the question you must face head-on. Are you spending your life trying to be chosen? Or are you living in a way that chooses you? In the modern world, distractions are everywhere. Fast pleasure, empty praise, shallow relationships built on ego, not depth. And it's easy, so easy to get lost. But that's not your path. Your path is the hard one, the worthy one, the one that demands discipline, clarity, and power from within. You don't chase, you create. You don't wait, you build. When you stop giving your energy to people who only take, you'll have enough left to build the life you were meant to live. When you stop pouring your soul into places that drain you, you'll find your purpose waiting where you left it. This video is not about bitterness. It's not about blaming anyone. It's about awakening, waking up from the illusion that you need to earn someone's love. By sacrificing your dignity, your purpose, your fire. Because you don't. The Stoics knew freedom begins the moment you stop seeking from others what you already have the power to give yourself. Self-respect, clarity, purpose. So choose yourself. Walk away from what weakens you. Let go of the chase, and instead, run toward the man you're capable of becoming. Build the business, forge the discipline, lift your standards, and never again apologize for wanting more from yourself and from life. Because the truth is this: a man who knows his worth, a man who guards his time, a man who does not need to chase, that man is free. So start today. Let go of who you were and begin walking the road toward who you were always meant to become. If this message hit you where it matters, don't let it fade. Like this video, subscribe, share it with a brother who's still chasing what weakens him, and drop a comment. What truth hit you the hardest? This is your wake-up call. Stop wasting time. Start building the man you were meant to become. The world doesn't wait for hesitation. It respects power, focus, and action. Choose your path. Walk it with purpose.